Could Jimmy Butler be traded for Zion Williamson? Jimmy Butler apparently reiterated that he would like to be traded. Apparently, he said he will not sign a new deal and he will use his $52 million player option as a leverage. Another report came out that supposedly part of his frustrations is coming from the lack of aggression from the front office. Allegedly, he is frustrated over the fact that, Boston went and got Porzingis and Drew Holiday, that the Bucks got Damian Lillard, and to be fair, I do think that the Heat were trying to get Damian Lillard, because we did hear all those rumors about Tyler Hero being traded, and then there was the whole Blazers complaining thing. So I do think the Heat were trying to get Damian Lillard for Jimmy Butler. Maybe they weren't trying to get Dame, I don't know, but the point is Jimmy is apparently frustrated with the roster construction. At the bottom it says he felt like he would have to do the impossible again because they did not give him another co-star like Damian Lillard. So with the trade deadline approaching, could Jimmy Butler be traded for Zion Williamson? Here's why I think this could be a possibility. Now, the only way to make the trade work money-wise is to give the Heat Zion and Herb Jones. And then the Pelicans take back Jimmy Butler and Pete Larson. Again, just ignore the fact that there are no picks in this because obviously picks would be included. I don't think the Pelicans would do this specific trade because I don't think they want to lose Herb Jones, especially on that team-friendly deal. I think a third team would have to get involved, but I'm just showing you how the money would technically have to work. But I could possibly see this as an option, and here's why. The Pelicans are in an interesting position because a team that is loaded with talent hasn't had the success that they should or people think they should be having. And that is mainly because Zion has been hurt basically every year. When Zion is healthy, there is literally no question about how dominant he is. That is not a problem. The one player or one of the players that we do not question on the court is Zion. But his inability to stay on the court leaves the Pelicans in such a tough position, and he has that 4-year contract. And while I have no inside sources or information, to me, personally, it doesn't seem like the Pelicans are committed to Zion long term. And what I mean by that is, I know they said they don't want to trade him at the deadline, and obviously they gave him the contract extension. But doesn't it just feel like they don't think he's going to be healthy? I don't know how to explain it, but I get this feeling that they don't feel like he's going to stay healthy for those 4 years of his contract that are left. And so they don't want to have 4 years of no star and no playoff appearances. Again, his on-the-court play is not in question. But if they don't believe, like I say, I just feel like they don't believe that he's going to be healthy, they could trade him for Jimmy Butler. Why? Because also Brandon Ingram is supposedly on the trading block, and if they move him as well, they could be in a semi-rebuild mode. And Jimmy Butler is a super talented player still. And the best part for them is he's on a 1-year or maybe 2-year if he accepts his player option. And if Jimmy says that he wants to be traded after the offseason, that may even work in the Pelicans' favor more, because if he picks up his player option, they can trade him somewhere else and get even more assets. And then everybody kind of wins in the end if this is the scenario that everybody wants. Jimmy gets moved, and then again, the offseason, he could be moved to a team if he doesn't like the Pelicans that he really wants to go to compete for a championship. Although Jimmy on that team, because there's a lot of talented players, we know Herb Jones, Trey Murphy, CJ McCollum is still there, so that team could actually make a run. But let's just say he's unhappy after the season is over. He could be moved somewhere else where he really wants to go. The Pelicans will be happy because in this scenario, they apparently want to move on from Zion while his trade value is still pretty high, and they get more assets when they trade Jimmy again. And Miami is happy because they got rid of Jimmy Butler for an injury-prone at the moment player. But if anybody can stop someone from being injury-prone, it's the Miami Heat. I don't know what the actual stats are on players not being injured with Miami Heat. It may not be any better than the rest of the league, but it just feels like when you play for the Miami Heat, you don't get hurt as much because of the training and conditioning that they have. So that could be a perfect place for Zion, which is crazy to say because he's still so young, but revitalize his career. And then everybody's happy because again, if Zion stays healthy, he can play and dominate on the court and do what he wants to do. And Miami's happy because they get an up-and-coming potential star, superstar maybe player. Don't forget, Zion was the #1 overall pick for a reason. So let me know in the comments down below if you think this trade could happen.